what would a retired Luke and Linus look like? Would you still do the WAN Show?
Never thought about that. I don't know if I would have the infrastructure in place to produce the WAN Show if I'm retired. I'm retired, right? I'm not. What? I have employees and I'm retired. Why do I do that?
We only had a producer on WAN Show for a very small percentage of its history.
Did you? You would?
No, Dan's great.
You
I'm
would
just
get
saying.
rid of Dan?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm your prop. You don't need me.
Dirty like that, right to his face.
Significantly
you have to look into his eyes now. You have to look into his eyes and tell him that the WAN Show would be just fine without him.
I can't do with that face. Oh no.
Okay, I'll get rid of him.
Yeah, fire me without looking me in the face. Thanks, Luke.
I think it's a clear improvement. We've talked about having a producer for a long time. I'm happy we finally did it. But I'm just saying, the show could technically go on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But what would we talk about? Like, if I'm not covering tech, I mean, I guess we could just talk about whatever.
I'm not covering tech.
Badminton.
Yeah,
we still talk about it. I don't think any of the topics we talk about on the WAN Show really require almost anything. We don't read the topics before we sit down. Like,
okay, a lot of the time I have independently read about them during the week, you know, as part of just...
Are you going to stop doing that, though?
Probably not.
Yeah. So, like...
As soon as I have more than, 2 days off in a row, I just immediately start tinkering with tech again.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really...
The WAN Show...
It's not really something I can be in control of.
The WAN Show kind of started because of those car talks. We weren't working during the car rides.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we kept going.
I don't think people would still watch. I've talked about this before. I think that you can have kind of your more casual content, but nobody cares about your opinion on things unless you also give them a healthy serving of, fact-based analysis and enriching content. Like, it's one of the reasons I'm always...
you still know what you're doing.
I'm always telling the writers, look, you got to load up the video with learning outcomes. It can't just be memeing. And so, yeah, I don't know if people would enjoy it the way that they do. I also, if we weren't focused on tech, I don't know if the world needs another, two white guys give their opinion on stuff podcast.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the WAN Show, but if we did something like, I think we've even talked about this before, like playing random $1 games on Steam.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Nothing would prevent us from doing that now, though. I think a big part of the reason we managed to do this is because there's it's like a tradition almost.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'd both have to be retired-ish.
We'd have to have
We'd both have to be
time.
around on Fridays.
We'd have to have extra
time. It would have to be... I almost don't think we could ever change the date.
Yeah, probably.
The time is a little flexible.
He's supposed to have people over tonight.
Oh, well, that was stupid.
Well, it'll probably be tomorrow at this point.
That was a dumb thing to plan.
There you go.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of evening.
Sorry, Dan.
I don't care.
Yeah,
they don't care. They know what I do for a living.
My parents thought I was going to their cabin tonight. And I was like...
Yeah, that's worse.
I was like... Yvonne was like... No? Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Are you serious right now? It's Friday. Yeah. It's Friday. It's WAN Show.
I remember we were trying to plan that executive retreat, and people were like, "Yeah, we can go Friday night," and we were both like,
"Do you know us? Have you met this man?" I mean, it's not your fault, typically.
Sometimes, rarely, but sometimes
it has happened.
I think one of the things that saves me is that you are so consistently late, so that if I'm ever late, it just doesn't. It gets completely overwritten because you're later. So, if you were on time all the time, I think I'd probably look pretty bad. But because you're late all the time, literally 100% of the time, it just doesn't matter.
That's not fair.
How?
I was on time for that flight.
I was talking specifically.
He was not expecting that one. No, he just got absolutely, atomic bombed right there. He thought he'd have something he could defend against. That was inexcusable. He was so late.
Oh, man.
I had to break just about every traffic law in existence to go wake his ass up,
Yeah.
get him into the car, and drive us both to the airport.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, he's not coming.
Dude,
He's not coming.
There was a few years there where I like practically nothing could wake me up. It's over now. Doesn't seem to be a problem anymore.
Well, you get
I
older.
only have one alarm now.
You get older, man.
And there was one point in time, legitimately, I had a floor mat thing that I got us to buy through like a Handy Tech or something. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah.
That required putting weight on it to turn the alarm off. I had 2 different alarm clocks. One of them that did like a daylight brightness thing. It cost way too much money. But it was this like really bright light that was supposed to simulate the sun. I had my phone's alarm clock, and I had an alarm that was a little robot thing that would run away from me. So I had to go chase it to turn it off. I would just stay asleep with all of them buzzing.